Hey there, Rick Sage, recording at the Rimrock Studios in Bishop, California. Welcome to Season 2 of the Outdoor Biz Podcast, where I speak with retailers, brand managers, athletes, executives, and others in the outdoor biz and share their stories, tips, advice, productivity tricks, and ideas you can use to take your career or business to the next level. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. I've used Audible for many years now. I'm on the road a lot, and Audible allows me to enjoy the great books I discover or are recommended by friends. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/theoutdoorbizpodcast. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Start your 30-day free trial with Audible today. This episode is with Krista Dill, Sales Director with Outdoor Retailer. Krista tells us about her experience as a Division I volleyball player at Duke University, how she got involved with Outdoor Retailer, and the changes she's seen in the industry over the years. Hey, Krista, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rick. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, great to chat with you. So, did you survive the holidays?
I did. It
Okay.
was nice to kind of unplug for a while.
I'll bet you guys have probably been super busy, I'll bet, huh?
Yeah, it's been quite the year for us. So it's been nonstop, to say the least. A lot of change, but a lot of exciting things to come out of it.
Yeah, cool, good. So let's start with your D1 volleyball experience at Duke. That must have been a bunch of hard work, but a lot of fun, huh?
Yeah, I like to look back on that time as kind of one of probably the highlights of my life. It was a really incredible opportunity to be able to play the sport I love and get a scholarship from it. So
oh, good.
I still do my best to stay in touch with my former teammates and coach.
Uh-huh. Do you get back to Duke very often to watch a match or watch a basketball game? Or
You know, I've been fortunate enough to see some games locally, actually up in Los Angeles or San Diego. So, and weddings tend to be a reunion for our team as well.
All right.
And, girls get married. So we've been able to keep in touch, and then obviously cheering on Duke basketball too.
Yeah, cool. That's great.
Season.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've been with Emerald for about a little longer than 10 years now. How'd you get started there?
I know. I can't believe it's been 10 years. But now that you say it, I actually ended up just knowing somebody that was already working here in the office. At that time, the company was owned by Nielsen, and had an interview with Kenji Hartunian and was able to come on board really as a junior sales rep and took over the West Coast territory, which was, I like to think one of the best territories with a lot of solid outdoor brands.
Yeah, right.
And, fast forward here, 10 years later, I'm now the sales director heading up the sales team for Outdoor Retailer and Outdoor Retailer Plus Snow Show. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, it's been you've seen a lot of interesting things here, a lot of growth, a lot of change in both within Nielsen and Emerald and then the outdoor industry. What are you most proud of?
That's a tough question to kind of summarize it, but I think looking back, what we can really be proud of is just doing our best to listen to the industry. Mm-hmm. And as you know, like I was saying, there's been a lot of change this last year, not only within the trade show landscape, but just also the landscape of retail and within the marketplace. So for us, we're kind of just looking forward to some positive changes as we evolve too. Everyone's looking to kind of continue to stay relevant and drive value to our customers. So I think with us, it's just looking forward to growing together with the industry in 2018.
Cool. What has surprised you the most about the growth?
I wouldn't know if it would be surprise as much as just, just glad to see that everyone's really been embracing a lot of change here recently. Mm-hmm. It's easy to continue to do the same thing over and over again, but I think a lot of our industry is really looking internally to see what we can do to continue to evolve, not only, as retailers, as brands, but as enthusiasts to kind of continue to have a very inclusive and open industry.
Yep. Yeah, we are. That's what I love about the industry. We, at the end of the day, we can go have a beer no matter what we've done during the day, competing against one another. It's pretty cool.
And I have to say, with our company too, we work in a lot of different industries, and this really outdoor industries really stood out as being unique in that way, with its culture, with the sense of community. It really, I think you can see that too at the trade show. every time you come back, it's about connecting and networking and seeing old friends.
Yeah. It's like a big, giant high school reunion every year, twice a year.
It is.
Super fun.
Well, now 3 times.
That's right. 3 times a year. So what has been most challenging in all those years, do you think?
I think the things that are challenging are when you don't really see it coming. And I look back and, there was that kind of poignant moment for, I think, everybody with the recession of 2008 and 2009.
Yeah.
And just seeing that, hit people, it was really surprising. There was just, we're kind of all on top of our game. And I think everyone kind of had to really make some major adjustments into how we operate our businesses and how we approach business in general. So
Right.
I think that was a big learning experience. If you were to ask someone else maybe who's been, with the company for a much longer time, I mean, I think there's some really poignant moments too, like the tornado.
The tornado,
99,
yeah, right.
Right. And
Right.
and that's something I hear people who tell stories who were there, like Larry Harrison or Kenji Hortunian, who are some of the first responders. And those are those moments that are so challenging that, the people who are part of it, really, you could respond in 2 ways. You could either have packed up and left and call it quits, but everyone really was just, opened up their booths to one another. It was just the spirit of the industry really shone through that.
Yeah.
I think everyone that was participated in that show was really proud of how that ended up coming together.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. Eagle Creek we were upstairs at the Utah Convention Center there, and we opened the doors, and our booth was divided up into a bunch of little meeting rooms, obviously, and we gave up meeting rooms, just to various brands, just so they had a place. It was amazing how that happened. That's another good one. I know. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you think one of the industry's biggest challenges are in the next couple of years, 2 to 3 years, say?
I think it's just going to be continuing to adapt to change. I kind of mentioned before, I think we're seeing kind of a new consumer emerge, kind of a conscious consumer, which I feel really will embrace the outdoor community.
Right.
But, we need to continue to just maintain relevance and understand how the business model needs to change, how specialty retail continues to be special and deliver that extra value. How do we evolve and, with as online business continues to grow and be really relevant? I think for us, we have, as an industry, we have such rich brands and storytelling.
Yeah.
How do we continue to get that brand storytelling to the consumer in an authentic way? And I think we have a really neat opportunity with specialty retail to deliver that. So it's about not becoming a commodity. It's about really making sure that brand story, that we, do things that are enriching and true to us,
right,
and that shows through on the retail level.
It's nice to see how people have shifted their stories too over the years. I mean, there for a while,
right,
in the beginning, we were all about, hardcore outdoor, and now we've embraced the mainstream consumer a little more. It's awesome.
I think so. I know. I think that we've really seen kind of like a renaissance in the industry. I mean, I think everything, there's milestones, right? When it really was about just getting outside and finding yourself. Maybe it was more of a solo attempt or an individual experience, and now it's about sharing.
Right.
And social is so important with that. And it might not be, summiting Everest. It might just be doing a weekend camping trip with a family and still having access to technology. Still having functionality, but also having fashion and access, and so I think that those are things that the outdoor industry is really embracing, and I think we've seen it too at the show. We introduced a kind of a concept area several years ago called Venture Out, that was to feature emerging brands and kind of that story of fashion meeting function and the lifestyle, emerging lifestyle brands that are really going to be, kind of at the forefront to bring in that younger consumer. And I think you're seeing a lot of, seniored manufacturers in the space too that are coming out with specialized lines or things that are speaking more to, athleisure or softer story that will kind of relate more to perhaps more of a fringe consumer to get them in and engaged.
Right. And what are you hearing about 2018? Are people super excited?
I think so. I think, new year, kind of new start. I think a lot of people are excited about 18. I think it's, going to be for the snow sports industry, obviously we're, always praying for snow. We ended
it's
with
pretty dry up here
what
on the east side right now. Mammoth's got snow, but it's the great white stripe of Slide for Life stuff. It's scary.
I know, it's harder and harder to predict as seasons, stretch a little later. So, I think we're continue to pray for the best, best possible outcome as far as weather, and then, I think for us, as we're going into a new year and new show platform in 18 with, kind of the merger of Outdoor Retailer plus Snow Show, which was, decades in the making.
Yeah,
I think
awesome.
there's going to be a really exciting, I know it's really cool, really exciting opportunity for the retailer to kind of be exposed to a whole different segment of product categories that, hopefully gives them an edge and lets them bring in new brands, maybe keep doors open longer or, bring in a different customer that they weren't able to before with kind of that crossover story.
I think we're getting a lot of a big bump in enthusiasm too. I think people are real excited about it's been talked about for so many years. Now it's finally happening. Everybody's psyched.
I know.
Yay!
I know. It's really cool to finally see, that come together. I've heard, stories from folks again, like, on our team who had been to the snow show when really where outdoor retailer was birthed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
At least the winter show component.
Yeah.
So so you got to see it too and understand, kind of like the other level of maybe just meaning that comes out of kind of bringing the two markets back together that had started actually as one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a neat component as well. On top of just, again, shows are made for efficiency and bringing together who you don't know.
Right.
So I think there'll be more opportunity with bringing those two shows together that had pretty little crossover to see more and more people that you weren't exposed to before on a buyer side or on the media side, see new product, and on a brand side, potentially open up more doors or grow the business on different channels.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So you get to speak with a lot of brands also, as well as retailers. What are they saying about 2017? Will it go down as a good year?
I do. I work with, our team works with, over 1,200 different brands that span all sizes, all product categories, all levels of market share. And, our buyer relation team deals, one-on-one with retailers. And I think overall the perspective is, has been, again, a lot of just evolving the model, both on the brand and the retailer side. I think there's a big emphasis to continue to how do we tell that story? How do we, with emphasis on training on the retail level and really having that specialty retailer hands-on approach, I think that there's a big positive outlook and that we can look to specialty retailers to kind of continue to grow and lead the way to be our storytellers. And I think 17, depending on who you ask, you'll get a different answer.
Of course, right.
But always, I think there's some good things that did come out of 17 overall for the industry. And again, lots of change, but excitement about 18.
Yeah, cool. And do you have any suggestions or advice for someone wanting to get into the outdoor biz or maybe grow their career if they're already in the biz?
Yeah, I would say, be passionate. I think what's great about this industry is that it is really inclusive and that you have an opportunity to find a mentor. A lot of the individuals, founders of many of the brands that are kind of the iconic brands in the industry still work in the industry. So, I think being passionate, willingness to be a part of a team, obviously finding your niche in an outdoor activity is always great, but also looking to make those connections with a mentor. And I really think that there's been some great steps forward with, again, taking advantage of some really great knowledge and individuals that we have in the industry. You have Outdoor Industry Association and the Outdoor Foundation that launched the Future Leadership Academy.
Right.
And I think that's now in the third year. And I think that's a great step forward. So anything we can continue to do, as a brand as well, or, any of the companies too, and as, from a retailer to a manufacturer, I think there's also advice for our industry to be open and to see talent outside of, maybe your who you look to immediately, and also lean on your staff that you have currently. I think we have a lot of great people who are in the industry, and retention of talent is really important for us as we continue to kind of have to be competitive with other industries. So whatever we can do internally to advance good people, to train them, to let them have support and mentorship is really important as well. So we need to play a role too.
Who are some of your mentors in the biz?
I would say that, really internally I had, when I started, Kenji Hartunian was a great person for me to really shadow and follow in his footsteps and learn daily. Marissa Nicholson as well has been my mentor here for many, many years, and a great soundboard, a great leader. And then the addition of Larry Harrison has been really special as well. Awesome. With actually working with him one-on-one as a customer, to be able to be working with them as a member of the team has been great. He has such tremendous insight and history, obviously, with being a part of the original crew to kind of grow up in this space. So I really appreciate his advice and support. So those would be some people
I got to get him on the show.
You do? I was surprised. I was like, why? This should be Larry.
Yeah. Well,
he would be great.
Yeah, there's so many great people. That's the thing. I was toying around the other day with maybe shifting the numbers, but there's so many people. I think I could do 5 of these a week and stay completely busy. It's crazy.
Honestly, you could. And I think what's really neat about just kind of looking over a lot of the folks you've been interviewing and seeing some familiar faces too, is you're really getting a great cross section.
Yeah.
And you're seeing anybody from nonprofits to athletes to folks who've worked with within the brands and retail space. So you're really getting a great perspective, 360 degrees there.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm trying to keep it pretty broad. Yeah, thanks. I think I'm trying to broaden the definition too. I think as the outdoor industry has evolved, we have broadened the definition by default. We're now we're merging with the snow show. We're talking to fly fishing folks and outdoor photographers, and I'm trying to do that in the podcast too, just because everybody's got a unique perspective and possibly very unique activity in the outdoor industry. So pretty fun.
Yeah, I bet. And I think having that approach too is, you mentioned photography, fly fishing. I mean, there's so many components of the outdoor industry, and the umbrella is so broad. I mean, really compared to a lot of the other singular industries you might work in or see kind of, as we see them evolving at the same time. I think it's been a huge part of our success is to have that breadth and acceptance of all the different activities that can fall under it. And it's really given us ability to be, a pretty stable industry when times are tough, but also have see that so many people participate in multiple activities as well.
That's what makes it the huge tribe that it is. Do you have any daily routines you use to keep your sanity? You meditate, exercise, walk the dog?
Definitely. It's something I continue to kind of, really work to focus on for myself is just balance. I think all of us have that.
Yeah, we all do.
I mean, you're working around the clock. But I think, for me, coming with my background, being an athlete in the past, exercise has been really key. I try to get in the gym. For me, actually lifting is something I really enjoy to do and do often work out with my boyfriend and try to get in there. Also, just I happen to live in a really great place in Orange County. So, whenever I can get out and walk by the beach,
nice. Yeah.
Try to do that on the weekends, get some time out in the sun. It's just breathe some fresh air.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a good spot.
That always helps.
Yeah.
What
outdoor activities do you participate in?
I really enjoy just hiking. We have some really great spaces just around here. Like I was mentioning, we're here by the coast, so there's some state parks like Crystal Cove and El Morro Bay or El Morro that's really close by. So I haven't gotten to get out there as much as I would like, but again, being in California, we have a lot of access to.
Yeah, we're spoiled.
From the beach to the mountain.
Right. We don't have to get out every day because every day is gorgeous. Oh, it's another sunny day. I don't have to go out today. I should, but yeah. What are some of your favorite books? Jared, do you give books as gifts very often?
I don't get books as gifts too often anymore. I do think they make great gifts.
Yeah.
But I really have to say I really enjoyed Unbroken. The story about Louis Zamperini. And, if I kind of go back to, I enjoyed reading The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas.
Cool.
So I tend to gravitate towards stories with kind of leadership and where there's, some sort of turn in the story where, like with Louis Zamperini, just the story of survival.
Yeah, that was a great
pretty
story.
epic.
Yeah,
kind of unparalleled. So you can kind of really get behind that and put some perspective on your own life.
Yeah, no kidding.
As well.
Right? Yeah.
But I just got to actually go and see a really cool exhibit on Ernest Shackleton and kind of hear that story of him. And not sure if you're familiar with him and
that is one of the best books ever written, in my opinion. And I was fortunate to go down to Antarctica and see his grave.
You were?
Yeah, I was on a Sobek trip, and I got down to go see his grave and see the mountain that he climbed over to get back to civilization. Oh, it's just phenomenal. And see Elephant Island where they were hanging out underneath that boat. It's just, oh my God, how did these guys do that?
I don't know.
It's amazing.
Perseverance and to stay positive for that amount of time. So I just really got exposed to that about 2 weekends ago, and I'd love to read the book on him. So
it's a great book.
On the bucket list.
Cool. And do you have a favorite piece of outdoor gear under $100?
Favorite piece? Well, you got your tried and true, hydration, and now you can get in every color, every size. But, I'm a big fan of, Lucy activewear.
Those are awesome.
Discontinued, but I just went up and swooped about 3 pairs of the same,
there you go. Yeah, cool.
Same leggings they have tall. So I'm, as you imagine, I'm pretty long. So I love to love anything that kind of caters to the taller female, and just a couple good bottles to have on hand.
There you go. Good, yeah. And do you have any favorite apps that you use regularly, or podcasts you listen to, or other digital? Do you guys use Slack? You guys must use Slack or something similar there, right?
We don't. We have an internal. We rely on. I know of Slack. My boyfriend uses that often just within his own work with computer programming. But I really, LinkedIn has been a really great benefit for networking and staying on top of kind of trending stories. Pinterest or Facebook personally. As far as a podcast, I really love to refer to anybody, and I'm sure more and more people know about it. The Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
It's awesome.
I just think it's such a great, TED Talk to see, and would love to read his book.
It's another great book. Yeah, he's got a couple of good books. Yeah. Anything you'd like to say or ask of our audience before we wrap up here?
Just hope to see everybody in Denver as we kick off 2018. So especially with the new show, and wish everybody a happy new year.
Cool, thanks. And how can people find you? LinkedIn's the best place?
LinkedIn, and our website has all my contact information. So
cool.
Feel free to reach out.
We'll link to that and link to those books you mentioned. Thanks for the time. I appreciate talking with you.
Thanks so much, Rick. Really appreciate it, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. See you in a couple weeks. All right, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Krista Dill. You can catch up with Krista by email at krista.dill@outdoorretailer.com. That's KRISTA.DILL. And also follow her on LinkedIn. You'll find links to everything we discussed in the show notes at theoutdoorbizpodcast.com/episode/070. I would be grateful if you visit iTunes and give us a rating and review, and be sure to share this episode or tell a friend about it. Thanks go out to Jason Cox for the new Outdoor Biz logo. Great work, Jason. Thank you very much. I'd love your support too. Go to theoutdoorbizpodcast.com/patron, Patron, and see the many ways you can support the show. Thanks for listening. If you want more of the Outdoor Biz podcast, you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure and go to theoutdoorbizpodcast.com where you'll find all the episodes, show notes, and much, much more. Thanks for listening, and until next time, be sure to make time to get outside.